Hello everyone. Today we will continue our lesson on fractions. We will look at like and unlike fractions. Our objective today is we will be able to identify and compare like and unlike fractions. What are like fractions? Fractions that have the same denominators are like fractions. For example, 5 by 7, 6 by 7, 1 by 7 are all like fractions. Unlike fractions, fractions that have different denominators are called unlike fractions. 1 by 6, 5 by 7, 3 by 4 are all unlike fractions. The denominators are all different. They are 6, 7 and 4. If we look at the picture, this helps us to understand like and unlike fractions better. In the first picture, we have divided the square into 4 equal parts. The first one is 1 by 4. The second part, the part in green, there are 2 squares, so they make them 2 by 4. And the third one, 3 by 4. We can see that all 3 factors, 1 by 4, 2 by 4 and 3 by 4 have the same denominator. In the second set of pictures, the circle is first divided into 2 equal parts. The pink part is one of the 2. It is half. In the second picture, the pink part is 2 out of 3 equal parts. And in the third picture, the pink is 3 out of 4 equal parts. We can see that the denominators are different. So the squares are showing like fractions and the circles are showing unlike fractions. It is quite easy to compare like fractions. In the 2 pictures, the circle has been divided into 8 equal parts. If we look at 2 out of 8 and 3 out of 8, which one is bigger? 3 by 8 is bigger. But when it comes to unlike fractions, it is not as easy. If we look at 2 by 6 and 3 by 8, it is not that easy to compare them. So how do we compare unlike fractions? Unlike fractions do not have the same denominator. To compare unlike fractions, we have to make the denominator same, which means we have to change the unlike fractions to like fractions of same value. Which means we have to change unlike fractions to like and equivalent fractions. To change from unlike fractions to like fractions, we need to know about the following. First, how do we simplify fractions? Second, how do we find LCM? And third, how do we find equivalent fractions? You have done all 3 of this in previous lessons. Let us start. Let us try to find the bigger fraction between 2 by 6 and 3 by 8. What is the first step? Simplify the fractions into standard form. 2 by 6, we divide both the numerator and denominator by 2. It becomes 1 by 3. 3 by 8, it is already simplified. We cannot make it any smaller. So, the unlike fractions that we are comparing now are 1 by 3 and 3 by 8. Step 2. Find the LCM of the denominators. We are comparing 1 by 3 and 3 by 8. We have to find the LCM of 3 and 8, which is 24. Third step. We will divide the LCM by the denominator to find a factor. The fractions we are looking at are 1 by 3 and 3 by 8. The LCM is 24. So what is the factor of the first fraction? We divide the LCM 24 by the denominator 3 and the answer is 8. The factor we have to use for 1 by 3. Similarly, the LCM is 24 and the second denominator is 8. We divide them and we get 3. So this is the factor we have to use for 3 by 8. Let us see how. We are now moving into the step 4. We have found the factor. Now we will find the like and equivalent fraction. How will we do it? We will multiply both the numerator and denominator by the factor we just found. The unlike fractions we are looking at are 1 by 3 and 3 by 8. So the factors for 1 by 3 is 8 and the factor for 3 by 8 is 3. We multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same factor. So 1 by 3 we multiply both numerator and denominator by 8 and the answer is 8 by 24. 3 by 8 we multiply both numerator and denominator by 3 and the answer is 9 by 24. The final step. We have to compare the like fractions. The equivalent fractions are like fractions now. So 1 by 3 and 3 by 8 have become 8 by 24 and 9 by 24. Which one is bigger? 9 by 24 is bigger, which means 3 by 8 is bigger than 2 by 6. These are the fractions we started with. So how do we compare unlike fractions? What are the steps we follow? First, we simplify to standard form. Second, we find the LCM of the denominators. Third, we find the factor we need to change to like and equivalent fraction. We find this by dividing the LCM by the denominator. Fourth, we find the like and equivalent fraction. How do we do this? We multiply both the numerator and denominator by the factor we just found. Finally, we compare. Here is a practice for you. Can you arrange the following 3 fractions into ascending order? The smallest fraction first and the largest fraction last. 12 by 16, 24 by 36, 20 by 25. You can pause the video and try doing this practice. Once you have finished, you can come back and start watching the video again and check your answer. So here is the solution. First, we will simplify to standard form. Second, we will find the LCM of denominators. Third, we will find the factor. Fourth, we will multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same factor. We get 40 by 60 as the smallest number, 45 by 60 as the middle one, and 48 by 60 as the last one. So 24 by 36 is the smallest fraction, 12 by 16 is the next, and finally the biggest number is 20 by 25. Did you get your answer correct? How can we do this in very simple steps? 12 by 16, 24 by 36, 20 by 25. We simplify the 3 fractions. Then we find the LCM of the denominators. We write down the denominators. Then we have to multiply the numerators by a factor. How do we find the factor? We divide the LCM by the denominator. So 60 divided by 4 is 15. We multiply 3 by 15. Second, 2 we will multiply by 60 divided by 3, which is 20. And then finally 4 we will multiply by 60 divided by 5, which is 12. We get 45 by 60, 40 by 60, 48 by 60. It is now very easy to compare. This is a much simpler step. Here are some questions for you to think. Why are we simplifying in the first step? Second, why are we using LCM? What else can we use instead of LCM to find the equivalent fraction? You can think about them.